The dark web, as many of you know, is a hidden part of the internet that requires special software to access. While the dark web has many legitimate uses, it is also known for its illegal activities, including the sale of drugs, weapons, and stolen data. But beyond these illicit activities, the dark web is also home to some of the weirdest and most bizarre policies you can imagine. In this video, we'll take a look at some of the most unusual dark web policies that have come to light. But be warned, the last two website policies we're going to explore will definitely give you goosebumps. So, let's dive into the twisted world of the dark web policies. The Cannibal Cafe. Cannibal Cafe, a website that gained notoriety for its extreme content. The website, which has since been shut down, was dedicated to cannibalism and included recipes for cooking human flesh. The site claimed that all of its content was strictly fictional and that it was not meant to be taken seriously. However, the site's administrators did have a strict policy in place that prohibited users from sharing real-life information about themselves or others. The Human Experimentation Forum. Another site that has since been taken down. This site was dedicated to discussing and conducting human experiments, with a particular focus on the use of psychedelic drugs. The site's administrators claimed that all of the experiments were conducted on willing participants and were done for scientific purposes only. However, the site's policies explicitly stated that any users who posted about non-consensual experimentation would be immediately banned. The Assassination Market. This market was a dark website that offered a bounty system for the assassination of public figures. Users could place a bounty on the head of any person they wanted to see eliminated, and other users could then contribute to the bounty. The site's administrators claimed that the site was purely for entertainment purposes and that they did not condone or support violence in any way. However, the site's policies did prohibit users from using the site to actually carry out assassinations. The Red Room. This site was a dark web policy that was rumored to offer live-stream torture and murder sessions. While there is no concrete evidence that the site actually existed, it was the subject of much speculation and fear. The site's policies, which were leaked online, stated that all content on the site was strictly fictional and that it was not meant to be taken seriously. But in reality, the site's policies did prohibit users from sharing real-life information about themselves or others. The Silk Road. Perhaps the most famous dark web presence of all time. The Silk Road was an online marketplace that facilitated the sale of drugs, weapons, and other illicit goods. The site's owner, Ross Ulbricht, was eventually arrested and sentenced to life in prison. But, the site's policies, which were revealed during the trial, stated that the site was not intended for illegal activities and that users were prohibited from selling items that were intended to harm or defraud others. The Hitman Network. The network that claimed to offer assassination services for a fee. Users could browse a list of potential targets and pay for the services of a hitman to carry out the job. The site's policies stated that all requests for assassination services had to be accompanied by proof of the target's guilt and that the site did not condone or support illegal activities. The Rape and Murder Forums. These forums were dedicated to discussing and sharing content related to rape and murder. Users could share stories and images, as well as discuss strategies for committing these crimes. The forums were eventually shut down by law enforcement, but the policies of the sites explicitly stated that all content was strictly fictional and that the site did not condone or support illegal activities. The Pedophile Handbook. This dark web presence was dedicated to providing information and resources for pedophiles. The site replicated its policies and write that all content was intended for educational purposes only. But, the site's policies also prohibited users from sharing any personal information about themselves or others and warned that the site was closely monitored by law enforcement. The Dark Net Markets. These markets are a collection of sites that offer a wide range of illegal goods and services, including drugs, weapons, and stolen data. The policies of these sites are often very strict, with sellers required to adhere to specific rules and regulations in order to maintain their presence on the market. The markets also have policies in place to protect buyers, including escrow services and dispute resolution systems. The Freedom hosting child pornography ring. This dark web presence was a massive child pornography ring that operated for several years before being shut down by law enforcement. The site's policies explicitly prohibited the sharing of any real-life personal information and warned users that the site was closely monitored by law enforcement. But, the site's policies also made it clear that the site was intended for the sharing of illegal content, and that users who engaged in illegal activities could face severe legal consequences. While the dark web is certainly a strange and unsettling place, it's important to remember that these policies are not reflective of the internet as a whole. It's also important to note that many of the sites we've discussed no longer exist, and that their policies were often intended to shield their administrators from legal repercussions. So, while these policies may be disturbing, it's important to keep them in context and to approach the dark web with caution and a healthy dose of skepticism. Thanks for watching.